Well, you know how I start my show. I wait for a few people to show up, and then I say what I have to say. That's kind of what I do. Oh, let's see. Some of the stars. Homes that burned down. That's not my show, but you got Mel Gibson, Paris Hilton, Anthony Hopkins. Oh, no, Billy Crystal. Well, they have insurance, but you know, the thing is, there's valuables. Like imagine if thieves are going to try to come down there as soon as they need jewelry and stuff like that. That's just the way the world is, man. Okay, so let me tell you the way the world is. My world. It's horrible. First of all, that California's just going down. They're not even actually doing a lot of movies. The tax rates on there. I mean, they go to Vancouver, Canada. They go to a place like that, British Columbia. But Hollywood ain't what it used to be. Now, when Hollywood burns down, that's going to be when the sign comes down. Did you know it's all over California? So all these rich people with these Malibu homes, well, there's a price to pay for everything, and I don't mean the price to pay for their mansions. They got the money and they could rebuild, and but anybody who lives there, well, pretty much has money, so you can feel sorry for their losses because they had a lot of valuable stuff there, paintings, childhood photographs, family, and they really lost a lot. Hello, Philippines. Okay, I'm doing a special show just to say something here. So, you know, in regards to this court case, I could have took a different direction on this. I don't have to express my thoughts to anybody out here but myself, but I want to put it publicly, just to get straight on something here. There was a time, even before he sigged his girlfriend on me with this complaint that you're also familiar with. Okay, now even before that time, there was a time that I would consider actually dropping it as long as he was going to get a one-way ticket out of here and never even come back. And you know what? There was a time I would have been happy with that. There really was. Prove my point, blah, blah, blah. He did, whatever. There was a time, but then what happened? You all know what happened. Okay, you're pretty familiar with the scene. He continued to do shows doing the same thing to me again. And you got to understand that under these circumstances, you just don't feel compassion for somebody. If you can't get that, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sorry if you don't get it. I mean, I get it. That's all that matters. Okay, so then moving on. He's expecting me to drop the case and all that. Come on, seriously, how could I do that? He puts his girlfriend on me with a fucking complaint to try to get me kicked out of the fucking Philippines. Okay? That just furthered my thoughts about why should I be lenient with the guy? Why should I show any form of compassion when he's never shown any compassion for me? He has still his community page, all these things on there, all his videos that he made on me, which I got mostly copies of anyway. Thank goodness I'm pretty quick on that shit. He was nonstop, guys. He was nonstop. So I don't want to hear the bullshit anymore. Oh, feel sorry for the guy. He's already been in there. He's going on his 22 month on the 27th of this month and blah, blah, blah. Big fucking deal, man. I didn't push him to do anything, man. I didn't push him to do anything. I didn't tell him again. I don't care how redundant I sound. I'm going to say it again. I didn't push him to elude immigration. I didn't push him to reside at his girlfriend's during a time that, you know, uh, he wasn't paying his immigration and he's being harbored there. I didn't tell him to do that. I didn't tell him not to pay his fees. I have nothing to do with that. That's all to do with him. And the only reason, let's just get this straight, that he's still in there now, in case those don't can't figure it out yet, is he has a court case against him. Why does he have a court case against him? Well, I drew the line. That was it. He didn't stop. Now, I'm sure you're all clear on this already because you've heard it 50,000 times. Although he thinks different. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I'm as innocent, you know. I don't do those things. Creates a fictitious channel, guilty of sin. It's not supposed to be him. The guy is out of his fucking wacky doodle fucking mind. There's a time you can show compassion for somebody, and I got a ton of compassion, but geez, I'm only going to give it when it's worthwhile. I could right now, I could right now say, well, that's the whole thing. I cannot dismiss the case. Too much water under the bridge. There's too much hateful shit. There's too many horrible things he's done. Too much he put me in guilt through. I cannot dismiss the case. I just can't. Even with his girlfriend putting a complaint on me and using that as a tool, I still can't dismiss his case. I mean, I just can't. I just can't. Did I think about it? No. Not about dismissing. Did I think about perhaps when at the end of the trial and he's going to get convicted or something, putting in a good word for him and say, well, if the judge says, I'll give you 3 years for each count, I might be willing to come in there and say, no, make it a year or make it 6 months in 1 day for each count. That, I could have done. I could have came to his rescue on that because the judge will make his decision, but since I'm the plaintiff, he might actually go with my suggestion. It's a good possibility. But he don't want to budge and I don't want to budge. That's what's coming down to. So whatever. He sigged his girlfriend on me to put a complaint that's either going to work or not. There's no resolution. Lawyer, nobody. Hear nothing. Zero. Nothing. Some other information was turned in regards to that matter. Certainly was. And you could bet on it I did. There was certain material turned in on that too. To the Board of Immigration Inquiries, decision-making people. In other words, there's a panel of like 3 people that sit around and they mull over this paperwork and evidence and they look at it and say, I don't know, maybe. Oh, I can see what happened here. Okay, collusion. Oh, okay, revenge. We're beginning to sniff a kind of a bad rat on this mattress, and, it could turn out that way. But, I don't know. My lawyer don't know. Nobody knows. But, wherever it goes, it's going to fucking go. I'm that stubborn myself. I will not dismiss his case. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. After all I've been through, never mind the cost, but all I've been through, I can't. I couldn't live with myself. Even if it meant me being separated from my girlfriend. I was gone over a year or more. We kept in touch. Everything was cool. If I got thrown out of the country, I could meet her in another Asian country. We'd get together for a while. We could do that as often as we want. If it came down to that, I'd do that. All's not lost if it ever came to that. Shit. As long as there's communication and we get to see each other, that's all that matters. I could handle that too. I don't want to go that direction, of course, but I could handle that if I had to. I mean, what choice would I have? It's just the way it is. However, I'm going to try to make sure that that does not happen. And if it does, there are secondary plans. Oh, no. I'm not talking about, the second steps of addressing the case. No. There are secondary plans to say, ouch, baby, that kind of hurt. And, sometimes things, reciprocate. A little bit of reciprocation, legally, of course. Never physically, never would do that, That's just not who I am. Like Barry said, he's not the kind of guy that ever abused his girlfriend. And that's coming from Barry. He's not that kind of guy. I don't think he'd ever do that. Well, he's right on one thing, that I would never do that. He's absolutely right. But other people, such as people who were trying to get me separated and deported, still wouldn't do it. Nothing physical. Would never do that. But however, it doesn't mean I have no other options, but, the legal options to address this, everything from harboring and aiding and abetting and all that shit. Now, I personally have not put any paperwork in that on yet. We're just going to have to see where this goes, and that'll be my decision. But even if I didn't do that, it's probably going to gravitate in that direction with the DOJ anyway. And I'm pretty sure that my lawyer needs a couple of more dollars, pesos, to work for me and do case, besides the second case pending on him. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to address that situation. Toot sweet. Toot sweet. I don't think that would be a problem. Well, pardon my sarong, but listen up. I'm going to stand back while somebody's trying to get me fucking deported. Now, he fucking deserves to be deported. He is an undesirable in every fucking way defined. I'm not going to sit back. I'll take my punches. I'll take them. But I'm going to swing with them too. There's no way I'm sitting back on something as heavy duty as that. Do you believe me? Well, if you don't, you better. So either she gives in or the Board of Immigration gives in. Either one, whatever happens, whatever happens. By that time, I have no control of the situation. Let's call this a bulletin, okay? Record it. I don't care what you do with it. That's what I have to say. And it's the only time I'm going to talk about this case at all on here. I mentioned it in another broadcast. I said, please don't even talk about the legal issues and blah, blah, blah. And I did mean it. But now I'll call this more of a bulletin. Yeah. Or maybe deserved. Maybe he deserved him cheating on you. You probably cheated on him. Whoever left that message just now. Creepy crawlers just come out of the woodwork sometimes, And, feel sorry for her if something did go down? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Not for some serious accusations that she made, which was all total fucking diarrhea of the fucking mouth in regards to the allegations she fucking made to satisfy her prize boyfriend. What a prize he is. It's sickening. The whole shit is sickening. But people make their own choices, who they want to be with and why they want to be with them, I'm still scratching my head. Literally, actually right now, I'm scratching my head. I actually am. But, we all know it's utilitarian and all that. We all figured that out. So you scratch my back and I'll scratch your back. That's all it comes down to, guys. I could talk for 3 hours and try to dissect all this, but I think you could probably figure it out yourself. It's a little bit of back scratching. Yeah, that's all it is. You do this for me and I'll do this for you. I'll love you forever. And all that bullshit. And that's all it is fucking bullshit. San Secreto. They should be offering you citizenship as a reward for taking him off the streets and saving countless further lives being ruined. Agree with you more. Sid also says, no mercy, he deserves prison time. Oh, we got 40 in here. Then went down to 34. How did he just switch from 40 to 34 in 2 seconds? Yeah. Well, he saw probably some looky-loos that saw nobody was on camera. And he went, yeah. I mean, the farting, burping, attractive, toothless wonder, bald, with a nasty fucking attitude, cocky motherfucker who thinks he's above the law. Who can be so stupid to repeat the same crime over and over again when he's boasting about and crowing about how he wants his freedom? How do you get freedom when you persist and insist on doing the same thing over and over again? That's like that definition of mental illness. It's when you do something over and over again, don't get the results you want, and you get pretty dissatisfied. But at the end result, you're just not achieving anything. It's like chasing your tail. I'm not stopping anything, Doc M. No, it don't stop here, Mr. Doc M. No, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you guys can make all the excuses in the world and say, oh, it ain't right what you're doing. Why isn't it right? Again, you're not wearing my shoes. Again, you don't know what I went through. Financially and every other way. Emotionally, physiologically. You're not in my shoes. It's easy for you to say on there, come on, man, the guy served, 21 months, and no, he didn't serve it in jail, my friends. He served it in the detention center. That's a little different than a jail. He needs some fucking jail time. That's what he needs. To make him, kind of sniffing that ammonia a little bit and waking up a little bit, saying that I can't do this all my life. That nothing's ever worked for him before. So maybe it's time for him to make a change. Just maybe, huh? Yeah, well, good luck with that. Goodbye. Oh, you're the one that wrote me then, huh? Well, I got a little news for you. The immigration department is well aware of the chicanery going on YouTube in regards to me and other people. They're well versed. There's been people that wrote in about him a cotillion times. Okay? There's such thing as a cotillion. They're well aware of the atmosphere and the environment going on YouTube. They're well aware of it. Oh, they're more than well aware. They're probably tired of it. Okay? They're tired of it. And these guys are piled up to the ceiling with cases to begin with. They actually are. Now, let me kind of get this straight, Mr. Doc M and anybody else. Let me get something straight here. Just out of curiosity. Now, you can't answer me because I removed you, but I would ask the question, why do you stick up for Barry, whoever it is? I know it's despite me, and I guess maybe I answered my own question. You're all familiar with him, and through the years and through his shows, you know everything that transpired. You know everything he's done before this case with me, whether it was girlfriends or taking money from people, promising to pay him back. Don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit. I know you want to vent, and you don't like either one of us. That's fine, but you want to pick your poison is what it is. You know damn well what the guy did. I know what he did. I know what he continues to do. I know what he's done in his past. I know what he's done in the United States. You're not exactly talking about some great citizen. You're not exactly talking about some guy who's a pillar of a community, any community to ever live in. He's not that type of guy. Well, CW, you could spend all your United Arab Republic, whatever money that you want. But you got to sleep at night, too. He's fucked you over, too. And by the way, I still have that, recording where you gave him $50,000 to bribe a prosecutor, just to let you know. Just to let you know. Well, they do. But it's not, it's not that they like him. That's not why they're doing this. No. It's not because they like the guy. They can't stand him. In fact, they probably can't stomach him. But you see, there's two people in the equation here, me and him. And they want to make their choice and say, well, oh, but he's a poor guy. How could you like the email like that? Which is probably CW or something, or Barry himself. Yeah, you're going to go after a poor guy. You know, in fact, they called him a loser. And it's probably Barry calling himself a loser. At least he recognizes something about his character. I'm sure it was him, you know. At least he admits that. You know, there's progress being made, you know. Yeah, who could side with a slime bag that beats women? Well, beating women is not part of the case, so we won't discuss that. We just know that he has a checkered past. We know that. It's obvious. Just go with the information you got. That's all. And why would CW want to support him anyway? He's fucked over CW, man. Why would CW want to help him out? He gave him money to use for this and that. He didn't use it for it. Unless he has all that free money around and just wants to give it out. Well, if he's so concerned about anything to do with the Philippines, maybe CW should contribute to a poor family out here or something. Instead of giving it to some fucking slime ball, which my viewers tend to define him as such. And I'll respect your definition of this man, as well as anybody else. Yeah. No, he needs to pay for what he did. And you got to understand, I'm just like this lighthouse on a rocky coastline with a rough ocean to bring those boats in. Only the difference is I'm that lighthouse that's bringing awareness to this guy and basically not saving ships, but saving other people's lives, that anybody who has to be in contact with him and has been a victim of his through the years. I'm saving people, has been quoted to me many times, and I've been thanked for it. You did the job that we didn't do, couldn't do, didn't want to do, or didn't want to get involved or whatever. I did it. There's a lot of people that are happy about it, even the trolls. They're not going to tell you, hey, that they're clapping their hands and saying this is going on. He served over 21 months. He's not even convicted yet, and God knows what he might get on that. You know, they're happy. Don't mind their comments or shows and stuff like that. Don't mind that at all. They don't like him, but they had to pick between the two. Now, the part of the problem is it's their problem. It's more personal than anything. They probably don't live the kind of lives that some of us managed to live in the Philippines. You know, us that actually moved here, actually live here. Actually live here. We actually made it out here. We accomplished what we wanted to do. We got a home. We got a partner. We got a family. And a lot of these people, as I said, either they're not old enough to retire, they don't have enough money coming in, or they're afraid to come here, they'd rather be a spectator, or they just like to live their lives vicariously through all of us. There's a lot of reasons why people act the way they do. The fact is, I don't live a bad life out here. I'm not complaining. You know, but there's some people that they want to see me die or get hurt or something, or run over by a bus. That sounds more of a personal problem to me than anything else. Because maybe they're lacking in their lives something I have, and that, well, I guess they just don't. That's what I make of it anyway. You got your own opinions on there, and you're welcome to share it. You know, while I'm on my show, but my live stream, I keep on calling it a show. We don't have circus clowns and anybody breathing fire, but he's trying to breathe fire up my fucking ass is what he's trying to do. And I'm just taking out the extinguisher and I'm extinguishing that fire. That's my job. No, case Barry is not going to be dismissed. I'm going to tell you right now, son, the case ain't going to be dismissed. I thought about it. There was a time I could have done something. I could have said, look, as long as you get this fucking goober out of the fucking country and he can't come back again to harm anybody else. There was a time I would have actually considered that. There really was, in all honesty. But then he didn't slow down, and he just kept on doing shows. He knows he wasn't able to use his phone there and only accept the call to make an order or something. And of course, he lied again to everybody about his SSD and The lies continued. And I figured that this is not a guy I want to deal with. I figured this is not a guy that I want to show mercy or compassion to, because all he does is lie. Lied about the breakup he once had, never happened. Lied about never receiving his Social Security, the whole fucking package. You're all familiar with it. Not worth repeating because you've all heard it, experienced it, seen it, whatever. You can't be compassionate to somebody that don't want to change. You can't be compassionate to somebody that has gone way out of his way to try to, I couldn't even spell my last name, by the way, but someone that has gone way out of his way to make it known that I don't like you. And he could have just said that, period, and that would have been okay. The feeling would be mutual, move on your way, but he didn't do that. No, 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 no. He had to do show after show after show. Then had to sig his girlfriend on me. Yeah, okay. Poor Yads. It's not Yads. Oh, really? Whoever you are. How do you know that? Do you look at my bank account? You're saying I have no money for a second case. How would you know that? How would you know that? Anybody can make a statement, but prove it. I mean, you guys seem to be good information gatherers. That's something I'd like to see. That one I'd like to see. That one I'd really like to see. Real big on the information highway out there, but unfortunately, people don't get their facts correct. No one looks into my bank account, our bank account. Nobody could ever possibly do that. I don't even have a online account, even if they could hack my phone or whatever. I don't even have an account online with my bank. There is no information in the system with my bank. None. Zero. I know what my balance is just by going to an ATM and see what my balance is. I do not do banking on my phone. So there's no possible way anybody could hack, and I don't think it's possible anyway. There's nobody that could ever hack into my bank account. So it's really easy to say, oh, you're broke, you got no money. Well, for a broke guy, I don't know about you. For a broke guy, I mean, I'm sure, living fairly well and have money for attorneys and have a house, have money to live on for food and utilities, and where's it coming from? It's all coming from my Social Security? It could. I've lived on that most of the time. I lived fine. It never went without. I'm not making a ton of money on that. But how do you think I was able to go to a hospital with no insurance and pay an extraordinary amount of money? Well, Philippines extraordinary, but it wouldn't be extraordinary for the United States, but Philippines extraordinary for some procedure on a kidney stone deal. They don't take marbles, and there's no trading off anything with a hospital. You got to pay cash. Where do you get the cash from? Grows on trees? I wish it did. No, I don't, because everybody would have it, and money would have no value if you could grow it on trees. It takes money to get things done. Lawyer, survival, food, utilities, repairs. Nothing's for free. So with a lame statement like that from that troll, you're broke, you have no money to bank. Okay, if you think so. How do we just pay our internet bill yesterday? How do we pay that? Borrowed money? I don't think so. Borrowed from a neighbor? I don't think so. How do we pay our bill? How do we pay the electric bill the other day? If I'm broke. I don't know, you tell me. You seem to have all the information. It don't matter what the fuck I'm worth or what I'm not. It The question is, what is it to you, really? That's probably the better question. So you can easily make lame statements. You're broke. You're broke. Oh, you're going to listen to Mario, perhaps? Evan? Have you even Evan doesn't really know my situation. So if you're getting secret information from Evan Lantini, then you're wrong. I only told him what I wanted to tell him. I do have limitations of what I talk about, and I can get personal with somebody I've built up a little bit of trust with, but I've always used that 1%. I've talked about it before. I always have at least carry on 1% of doubt with anybody you talk to. Oh, then a lame statement about, all right, I don't want to get into the other thing. Something mentioned on another show, but or comments I read or something. I don't know. It's not worth going into actually, but where it stands is, I'm not sharing legal information. I'm just saying that as far as I'm concerned on this matter, no cooperation means no cooperation from me in any form or way, even if it's the slightest. I could help him at all. I mean, at this point, anything could help him. What I say to the judge at the end of this trial is going to probably make a difference between, well, let's just say he does get convicted and the judge gives him time. Can that happen? Sure. It could be the difference of serving 3 years or 5 years for each count to serving maybe 1 year or 6 months in 1 day, which is a standard issue sometimes for certain types of cases. It could make the difference between that. Would he rather serve the extra time? That's up to him. I do have a certain amount of control on this at the end of this thing. I do have a certain amount of control. Ginger, stop. I do have a certain amount of control. In a sense, I am in a goddamn driver's seat. So he tries to hold his girlfriend's case over my head, which was a plan in the first place. Well, what if that don't work? What then? What bargaining tools do you have anymore? None. There ain't none. And it still ain't a bargaining tool to me. It's still not. I mean, I'm willing to cut down on his sentence a little bit when he gets convicted, but that's about all I'm willing to do. Forget about the $250K thing for like lawyer's expenses. I already told my lawyers, no, you just go for the higher amount. I did spend a lot. Why should I give him a break instead of $650 or $6 instead of $250 and just wind down on that? Why? Now that I think about all this, now that I still see his comments every now and again on his little guilty as sin show and his other section on there, community page and so forth, and his comments perhaps on other people's channel when he's not really supposed to have his phone. Remember that? Why? Why should I give in? Give me one goddamn reason. Someone's got 23 people watch. I'll say 22 because I'm watching. I'm on here. Give me one goddamn reason. Well, I should reason with this guy. No, not his girlfriend's case. Don't even put that out of the picture. It's what he did. Give me one goddamn reason that I should show any mercy on this guy at all. There isn't any. And now that I further think about it as the time is going by, I reflect on all of his shows he did. I reflect on things he says he never talks about my girlfriend, but he certainly has. Always knocking her because she has more than a couple of children. That has nothing to do with the price of tea in China, how many children she has, and it's none of his fucking business. It's not. Making whinny sounds. I remember everything. Calling. Excuse me, I always make that mistake of calling. He didn't call. He messaged on Facebook. Forgive me on that. Always make that mistake. Her children, to say the guy she with is a fucking child molester. This stuff just keeps on going through my head. And I cannot bring myself to a comfortable place. Let the system do their job. I'm not going to give in on anything. Because what if it doesn't turn out my way with his girlfriend? Well, as I said, again and again, there are avenues to approach this. and even remedy it. But it may not have to. They could throw the case out. Well, it's not a case, it's a complaint. We're not even there yet. That could happen. What's his bargaining tool at that point? There's none. Zero. Zero. You got to think about that too. That's all I had to say. I'm not going to waste any more of your time or mine. I'm just saying that now that I really think about this stuff, sometimes I try to convince myself and say, okay, man, go easy on the guy. But then I think about it time and time again. And I say, why? He doesn't stop. If he doesn't stop, there's no hope for him. Why should I give in and show any kindness to somebody that's not shown any kindness to me? Who lied about everything from always trying to get friendship with me in the beginning. I liked Frank, and that was all total bullshit. Hagante will tell you that. That was all bullshit. But I was so kind to him. Even gave him some kind of pill that might help his lungs. He was coughing his brains out as usual. Threw 300 pesos in his pocket. Another time he came over, I bought some pizza and, bought cigarettes for him. And I even paid $20 toward his freaking teeth that he never bought or whatever happened with that. So I don't say I haven't shown kindness to the guy and some form of compassion, because I did. But that was a long time ago, and his track record started getting uglier and dirtier. And then I started looking at him as if, I don't want to deal with this guy. I don't want him to come around my fucking house as much as I didn't want Brevis to come around. It's a choice I made. It has nothing to do with how many subscribers he was getting or making any money on his channel. It has absolutely nothing to do with that at all. That's so far from the truth. Had nothing to do with any of that. Although that's his story. But then again, if his lips are moving, you fill in the rest of the sentence. And it's been that way, and that's been the problem. He lied about his breakups. He lied about his SSD. Lied about everything. Even lied that he was ever an immigration overstayer until he got fucking arrested. Now he's in there for over 21 months. What does that tell you? He lied about calling me a pedophile and a child molester. Where is he now? 5 fucking counts against him of cyber libel. Get my point? He's a born fucking liar. Chronic. It's like a nervous tick with him. He can't tell the truth. It's like that movie Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey. Only he's worse than Jim Carrey, that movie. He lives by lies. He's a professional con man, the way he tries to go about his life. When he borrows money from people and don't pay him back, and he'll say something like, did I sign a piece of paper on this? Prove it that somebody bought me a computer on credit and I didn't pay. Do you see my signature? That's what he does. That's what a con man does. Okay? Show me the paperwork is a famous line. Show me the paperwork. Show me the money. Show me the paperwork. No paperwork, then he gets away with his crime. There you go. That's what he does. We all have a right to our opinions, and my opinion is such. He's a low-class person. He is a user of people for financial gain, and you could even call him a goddamn thief, because if you borrow money from people and you don't pay them back, you're a thief. That's exactly what you are. You're a thief if you don't pay people back. You took some good money that somebody entrusted you with to get paid back, and you just took off in the other direction. Whether it was a woman or a man, it didn't matter. You took their money and they ran with it. You ran with it. And when you were crying all the time on his shows when he lived at Virgie's, I'm broke. I'm down to my last 100 pesos. Okay, guy, I gotta go. Because I gotta go buy a bottle. Somebody gave him a donation. And instead of using it for food or necessities, He went out to buy a fucking bottle of booze and cigarettes. And that's why people were so pissed off at him. Because those that were generous to him, he spit in their face. One of his famous projectile mucus events in everybody's face. It's fuck you all. Ha ha, I got you. Got your money. Now I could go get drunk and we could drink together, he says. We could drink together. I sure will. If you send me any money, I sure will. Go out and buy a bottle. I sure will. And we'll drink together. You know, like that's possible through the internet. They're going to drink with him. He's going to share his booze with them. Share it with nobody. Sure will do that. Yeah, we'll drink together. Which is physically impossible, of course, but, you know, who we dealing with here? And people gave into that shit. They gave into it. Why? Tell you why. They wanted to see him make a fool out of himself. Because he gets even more goofy and courageous when he starts drinking. That's him in a bar scene, by the way. That's why he's had bar fights and probably got a bottle, I would imagine, a Red Horse bottle or something on his fucking head. Probably because, well, he does what he does best, but he gets even more cockier when he drinks. Like in that one scene that everybody has a copy of. Yeah, come on over here, come on. Oh, please, give us a break, man. Seriously. Come on, what? You're not going to do shit to anybody. You can't even take care of your own self, nevertheless kind of take care of somebody else, if you know what I mean. All talk, no walk, you know. Big mouth. It's unfortunate for him that his big mouth has got him into so much trouble. So, to end this, I'll simply say, compassion for the devil? Afraid not coming from me. But he went too far this time. Got his girlfriend involved. I knew it'd be the wrongest thing in the world that he did. Just a man that always said, I don't want to involve my girlfriend. So I'm saying, I don't want to involve my girlfriend. But you did. You did. He certainly did.